Greetings everyone, hope and trust this video will find you in good health. Today we have a powerful healthy presentation which is entitled Overeating. We are digging deep into the precious mind of God's truth from the book called Counsels on Diet, page 131. It's a very common book which I think everyone should expect it to have. Counsels on Diet is the book of the day. Overeating. This is one of the things which the heavens address as a common but serious sin. Overeating, we all know overeating, but I hope and trust most of the people it will be their first time to know that this person by the name of overeating is it's a common thing among Christians. It's a common thing among heathens. It's a common thing among houses of Christians and people out there, which is practiced without realizing its consequences. Now, today, I want to remind you that the heavens address this activity as a common but serious sin. Paragraph 1 is saying, overtaxing the stomach. Overtaxing the stomach is a common sin, and when too much food is used, the entire system is burdened. Then it says, life and vitality, instead of being increased, are decreased. This is as Satan plans to have it. Man uses up his vital forces in unnecessary labor, in taking care of an excess of food. Last time we talked about healthy message, where I was addressing about the types number of meals one should have in a day and the hours which should elapse from one meal to another. Now today I also tackled the area about how the stomach works. So here overeating is coming as a sin because of the too much work which you are giving to the stomach. So if we are giving excess work to the stomach, the heavens consider that as a very, very serious sin. Then it continues to say, by taking too much food, we not only improvidently waste the blessings of God provided for the necessities of nature. One may ask a question, which blessings of God do we unnecessarily waste? You find that God has given blessings. Every time you eat food, it is automatically expected to have energy. But if you eat food, too much food, I explained earlier on that as you eat too much food, never expect to have too much energy, but you are going to have little amount of energy. Why? Because the stomach is going to borrow the same energy stored in the muscles, the same energy stored in the liver, the same energy which we expect to use for future purposes to digest the food that you have inserted in that stomach. Because the food is abnormal, it requires abnormal amount of energy. Now, where do you think that energy is going to be obtained from? For the stomach never works everywhere. For the stomach never stores energy everywhere. As a result, the stomach is going to borrow energy from the muscle cells, from the liver cells, where energy is stored. As a result, you discover that instead of you expecting high amount of energy stored in your body, you still have little amount of energy, contrary to your expectations. Now, that blessing of you having energy after eating your shima is lost, because every time, instead of you having energy after you've eaten, you discover that you'll be feeling tired, which is not making sense. We eat so that we can have power, but if you eat so that we can feel tired, I don't know how you are understanding that. So too much food should not be put in the stomach. Then it says, we defile the temple of God. It is weakened and crippled, and the nature cannot do its work. Then it says, wisely and well, as God has made provision that it should. So the stomach, the body, as the temple of God, number one, is defiled. I hope and trust you read the Bible. If you open your Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19, the Bible says your body are the temples of God, where the Spirit dwells. Now, if anyone defiles this temple, God will destroy that person. Now, by you overeating, by you overloading your stomach, the Bible addresses that activity as defiling the temple of God. Then it says, the body is weakened, not on that is crippled. We all know what it means to be crippled, meaning you are destroying your stomach, you are destroying your body, you are depleting it. You, you are depleting the stomach and your body. As a result, that is why we are addressing, or we are experiencing premature death around the world. Why? Because of the way we are treating our body and its organs. Then it continues to say, because of the selfish indulgence of appetite. This is all as a result of appetite. Man has oppressed nature's power by compelling it to do work it should never be required to do. So, because of these evil activities, we are giving the stomach work, which the stomach is not expected to work. So, to each organ of the body, God has given a specific work, just like the enzymes work. They have specific works. The enzymes which work in the stomach, they can't work in the mouth. The enzymes which work in the mouth can't work in the duodenum. They have specific areas and specific substances upon which they do their work. Same applies to the stomach and organs of the body. They have got specific works which they are expected to work. Now, if you are giving them the work abnormally, then God counts that as disobedience. God counts that as a sin, a serious sin indeed. Now, some Christians, they ask this question, that should we health reformers who have discarded some unlawful food or all unlawful food, should we also be expected to observe this activity of overeating? Should we also avoid it? Or this message is going to those who are still eating pork, who are still eating ducks, who are still eating forbidden foods? Now, listen what the inspiration is saying. If you read page 131, paragraph 4, inspiration is saying that it is possible to eat moderately even the wholesome food. It does not follow that because one has discarded the use of article of diet, he can eat just as much as he pleases. No, 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 no. It doesn't mean that because I have stopped eating pork, it doesn't mean that because I have stopped eating hateful articles of food or diet, I can eat just as much as I please. No, this message is going to everyone, those who have taken a step in health reform and those who haven't yet taken any step. God is addressing you the same. Inspiration says, overeating, no matter overeating, no matter what quality of the food, clogs the living machine and thus hinders it in its work. No matter what the quality of the food, no matter how nice you have cooked your vegetables, no matter how nice you have cooked your beans, the inspiration says if you overeat, it will clog the system. It will clog the system. The system will be burdened. At the end, the system will clog. The system will be crippled. So this is the message which is addressing everyone. Everyone. Now, is there things like this in the Bible? Maybe one out there is asking this question. Let us see from the pen of inspiration. Let us address this also important point here. Cancels on that, page 132, paragraph 1, which is saying nearly all members of the human family, nearly all members of the human family eat more than the system requires. We are all captives. No one is not included in these sentences. The inspiration is condemning everyone. It's a reformation which requires everyone to change. It says this excess decays and becomes a putrid mass. If more food, even of the simple, I want you to get this point clearly. If a simple, I mean, if if of a simple quality is placed in the stomach than the living machinery requires, this surplus become a burden. Then it says this system makes desperate effort to dispose of it, and this extra causes a tired, weary feeling. Then it says some who are continually eating call this organ feeling hunger, but it is caused by the overworked condition of the digestive organs. It's a powerful point which everyone should not escape. Inspiration is saying, okay, the question which I may ask is, why do we feel hungry immediately after we eat? If you experience that, you are a captive. If you experience hunger immediately after having your lunch or your breakfast, then you are a captive of overeating. A normal person, immediately after a meal, immediately after each meal, should feel energetic. But if you eat, then you feel tired, you eat, you feel to sleep more than 2 hours, you eat, you start dozing, and anyhow, then just know that I have overeaten. I ate more than the system required. So, see the bad effects of overeating. Number one, the blood is affected. If you eat more food, the stomach won't digest everything, of course. So, that means if digestion is not done, some foods will be absorbed in the blood. I mean, high amount of food is going to be absorbed in the blood. Once that is done, not everything is going to be stimulated because the body has optimum amount of food that is required. So if there is high amount of glucose in the blood, you discover that if not all that is stimulated, the blood is going to to be dead. It won't be pure or clean. As a result, if your blood is dead, that is a problem. That is a problem which leads to many diseases. Your blood must be pure. How are you going to make sure that your blood is pure? By giving the body the food that is required, not more than normal, so that whenever digestion is done, everything is used. Not whereby digestion is done, there is undigested food still in the stomach, and there is also a high amount of glucose in the blood system that will lead to many diseases. So this also leads to premature death, because the consequence of sin, the reward of sin is death. So sometimes we kill ourselves. One of my powerful teachers said, "Ubwanga bwaba mumpoto." What you eat is what determines how much longer you are expected to live on earth. Then it says, you also be feeling unnecessary hunger. You'll be feeling unnecessary hunger. Why? Because when you eat more than normal, the stomach is going to use or to make desperate efforts to dispose that which you have put in the stomach. How is it going to do that? Is going to look for extra energy around your body, the energy which keeps you awake, the energy which works in your eyes is going to be taken by the stomach. The energy that makes your hand to move, makes your legs to move, makes your brain to work properly, all that energy will go to the stomach to help it. For the body is not selfish. As a result, how do you expect to look, to see, if the energy which works in the eyes is on the stomach? How do you expect to walk if the energy that makes you walk is on the stomach? So, children of the Most High, you discover that immediately after that digestion is done, all your energy is depleted. Again, you start looking for another energy. That's why you feel hungry after you've eaten. And that is not normal, because your system will adapt activity which the creator never instituted. And that is the plan of Satan, to do things contrary to what the Lord plans. Now the question which we may ask ourselves is, how is this sin? How is this sin considered by the heavens? So inspiration here is saying, the word of God places the sin of glutton in the same catalog with drunkenness. So a drunkard in the eyes of God is as same as a gluttonous person. Are we together? If you eat more than normal, you are considered in the same position in the eyes of God as a drunkard. And if this sin is of the same magnitude, then the punishment is the same. Now, is that making sense? You fail to enter heaven, you fail to find yourself in the kingdom, you find yourself in hell. burning same days as a drunkard. Children of the Most High, then it is high time we escaped. It is high time we fled this sin of overeating. So offensive, inspiration says, so offensive was this sin in the sight of God that he gave directions to Moses that a child who would not be restrained on the point of appetite, who would not be restrained on the point of appetite, but would gorge himself with anything his taste might crave, should be brought to the should be brought by his parents before the rulers of Israel. Now the question is, for what should he be brought before the rulers? To be stoned to death. So this was a sin that was punished by death penalty. Now, if someone is punished or charged to be stoned to death, how much great is that sin he or she has committed? The sin of glutton, the sin of eating more than normal. If you fail to restrain yourself from that activity, God instructed Moses that tell the children of Israel that whosoever is doing so, bring him before the rulers to be stoned to death. And that is your end. So deadly is this sin. Children of the Most High, if God used to punish those people in those days, like we have seen in the time of Moses, how much more should we expect to be punished if we continue harboring this sin, if we continue hugging, if we continue loving this darling sin of ours in this generation? It says the condition of glutton was considered hopeless. He would be of no use to others, and he was a curse to himself. I remember one day, one of my younger brother was telling me that, brother Silas. Then I answered, yes, bro. Do you know what? Us, the way we used to do things, when we have dogs at our house, we have dogs. If we observe that we have, maybe, let me give an example, 4 dogs, then one dog gets sick, very sick, to the point that the dog will die. Before the dog dies, if we see that it is taking long to die, we will kill it. Then I asked him, but why do you kill before the dog dies? The point which he told me was, we would kill that dog so that the disease is not transferred to other dogs which are not affected. So we make sure we kill that dog so that we preserve the lives of these other dogs. And when I heard that, I sensed some wisdom. Now, when I was reading this passage, I compared to what the young man was saying. I saw that, so even God can do this. When you see that, this one is gluttonous, this one is an overeater, before that sin is transferred in your brother, because people will be observing you the way you are eating, and some will start admiring that, trying to adopt. So what God do, he will sense that, this one is becoming gluttonous, let me kill him. So instructed Moses, tell them that whosoever is observed doing that, try to tell him to move away from his bad activity, for the first day, for the second day. If you observe that he is not restraining himself from that evil habit, bring him so that we stone him, because that person is a curse to himself. And instead of him transferring that curse in others who haven't been affected yet, it is better we kill him so that we preserve others. So this is how God can do. That's why you find that a lot of youths nowadays are dying prematurely. Why? Because we are eating more than normal. Children of the Most High, this issue of overeating is very, very broad. And we have a lot of quotations, we have a lot of words that I may share with you. We have a lot of them that I may share with you. But for today, we'll end here. Please have time to go through this powerful book so that you read for yourself. It will help you. It will help you. And when you are reading, make sure you start practicing whatsoever you are reading. For this will fit you for heaven, will fit you for the kingdom. This will prove to God that indeed you are fit for translation. May the God Lord bless you as you are enjoying your day. May the good Lord bless you with the blessings of life, blessings of sunshine, blessings of water, and blessings of food. Don't forget to pray for others and also to pray for me as well, so that we all walk in these powerful words which the Lord is giving us.